Most of America has been rightly focused on the coronavirus. That is the crisis that we're trying to deal with right now. But of course, we've been trying to do a good job here at TDR of making sure that we keep pace with the other efforts that the Trump administration is sort of using this crisis as a cover to pursue. The destruction of the EPA, tearing apart regulations at a large, like port, like meat processing plants and things like that. We have another as well, and that involves the border wall, something that you probably have not heard much news about recently, and it has to do with its paint job, which sounds like a silly topic, and sort of is, but it's an expensive one, and also one where the Trump administration's trademark cruelty is very much on display. The president's determination to have the steel bollards coated in black, he wants it painted black, has fluctuated during the past several years, and military commanders and border officials believed as recently as last fall that they had finally talked him out of it. They considered the black paint unnecessary, costly, and a significant long-term maintenance burden, but Trump has not let go of the idea, insisting that the dark color will enhance its forbidding appearance and leave the steel too hot to touch during summer months. And so we're gonna have some more details for you, but this is back in the news because he has tasked people in his administration once again with putting together an updated cost analysis of how much it would cost to paint it in a color that would conceivably burn people trying to climb it.
He's like a Sith Lord. I mean, does he not understand how comically and cartoonishly evil he comes off? This is like, again, it's like a movie villain.
Mm-hmm.
And a petty movie villain, which we know Trump is. But I guess they kind of relish that. I mean, Dick Cheney loved being talked about being Darth Vader and being a part of the dark side. These are people that embrace that. I don't think Trump sees himself in that way. I don't think he has the self-awareness of a Dick Cheney to understand that he's patently an evil person. But this should maybe give him some pause. I'm like reminded of in Sleeping Beauty, the like black nettle spiky things that came out in the forest around the castle. I mean, that's kind of who he is. That's what he wants. That's what he envisions for poor immigrants just trying to get a better life in this country. And that's what he wants to do to them. He wants to literally burn their flesh if they try to come into the United States, and also just make it look really sick. Like
it's gotta be scary.
It's gotta be scary, and right.
It was black and pointy. And the analogy you just made gets even more robust in 1 second when we turn to that. But it's just, and like you said, the Sith Lord thing, it's kind of like the Death Star too, because it has a weakness. It's not a thermal exhaust port, but like you can go to Home Depot and get a saw that cuts through it. So like, and by the way, Trump.
Just swim.
Swim
around it.
That's true. But the Black Gates of Mordor, someone says. The paint doesn't make it saw resistant. But anyway, and I mentioned how expensive this is going to be. It is very expensive. So minimal $500 million. That's just for acrylic paint that'll wear away. $3 billion to powder coat it. So, I mean, powder coating. You want to go with the powder coating if you can, but it's going to cost you more. By the way, even the steel itself, which is designed to be weather resistant, has a 30-year service life. So, like, by the time Don Jr. is ending his second term, we're going to have to replace the wall that we already had. So this is a very long-term maintenance cost problem. But anyway, you talked about the nettles that are designed to like stick people and stuff like that. So it's not just that he wants to paint it black so that it can burn people. Remember, and I am going to bring up this story as many times as necessary because I cannot believe that people have forgotten that this happened. But this is news from last year. Privately, the president had often talked about fortifying a border wall with a water-filled trench stocked with snakes or alligators, prompting aides to seek a cost estimate for alligators.
He's a toddler. Again, he like read a book about castles that like when he was in 6th grade, he was like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, he had his people checking to see, I guess he was calling the Tiger King, probably, at this point. Like, what if we got cougars? Put them in the water, swimming cougars. But also, he wanted the wall electrified, and he wanted spikes on top that could pierce human flesh. So
sharks with laser beams on their heads.
Freaking heads. If you get past the alligators with laser beams, and then you climb up the burning hot fence, and you don't get shocked by all the electricity, and if you get over the spikes on the top, he does have a backup plan. He wanted soldiers to just shoot migrants if they threw rocks. He was told you can't do that, it's illegal. So then later on he brought up, what if we just shoot him in the legs? And they told him you can't do that either.
He's so stupid. Like,
I mean, stupid is
people
one
talk.
way to put it. I would use a term other than stupid potentially.
No,
Uh,
yeah, I know. But there's many adjectives, but that's just one that just sticks out to me. Like,
yeah.
he just, people always talk about like, what if his plan is this? What if his plan? He's got no plan.
No.
He's a child. He's arrested
He is. He wants.
emotionally and intellectually.
Like, what are you supposed to say when like the idea that the right puts out is, what if we made it so that the migrant kids get eaten by alligators? Oh, by the way, we're pro-life. What are you supposed to say to that? Like, how are you supposed to like, well, let's compromise. How about this? We'll go 50% of the way to we feed migrant children fleeing violence to alligators.
The alligators will just bite off legs. We'll do tiny alligators to bite off legs. There we go. Thank you, Pelosi, for the grand bargain.
God. They gave him billions of dollars. Thankfully not for alligators, but they've given him billions of dollars for it. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.